A very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome back in today's session of group discussion. There's one very hot topic going around the world right now. That is the end to work from home. What do you think? What are your views for that? What do you think? Shall we go back to the normal 9 to 5 job, 9 to 6 job? Shall we adopt some flexible way of working? What should we do? What do you think? Going back office for 9 to 5, 5 days a week is a good choice, or going with hybrid model, going with permanent remote work, because there are mixed reviews coming out from the people. People say that we are missing the interaction. People say that that interaction used to motivate us, used to bring positivity in us. That interaction used to make us stress free. That is missing. Then some people say, but when we are traveling to office, we are commuting more time on traveling. Other expenses are also increasing. Now, when we are working from home, we are even giving more productivity. The time is being saved. The time which we used to invest in talking, daily chit chat, all the time is saved. So there are mixed reviews coming from the employees, and some employees are so comfortable, they have become so comfortable working from home that now they prefer quitting their job, searching on for the new job, than to go back to the normal office. What do you think? What should we do? Like, as an individual, what are your views for that? Would you like to go back to the normal life? You like to go with hybrid model? Because for you, you also believe that going to office is equally important as giving productivity. So it's a hot topic going on, and yes, views are going to will be different for people who are very introvert. They just want to work at their comfort level. They just want to relax. They just want to work. For them, work from home, permanent remote working is a good option. For some who have family responsibilities, they never wanted to leave their hometown, but as they were having no job opportunities, so ultimately they had to leave their hometown. For them, it is a good opportunity to be back with the family. For some, it's a good choice because it is giving them more productivity. They are thinking that, yes, we are spending more time with the family. So in this situation, things are changing a lot. Like, there are many different things, many different views from different people. And when this type of topic is on the table, many different views are going to come. And how you present yourself, how you grab the opportunity to speak, how you lead the conversation, how you attentively listen to them and sum up the entire discussion, that makes you different from all other candidates who are sitting around the table and presenting their views. Now, today we are going to discuss about characteristics of group discussion. Characteristics of group discussion. First is interface. Leaders, members, participation, interpersonal attraction, pressure on to confirm, and conflict. Anyone who can, if you can explain me about these characteristics, what do you understand from these characteristics? What is leader and members? What is leaders and members? In this conversation, in this group discussion, do we find leaders? Do we see members who are actively taking participation in this? Do we see them? Do we see them?
No, ma'am.
We don't see leaders, we don't see members. Right?
Like,
Aren't
yeah,
they?
leader are like who take part are called as like we consider them as a leader, ma'am. But the members are like they may take part or they may not.
Okay, so what is the role of leader over here? What role leader is going to play when he's leading? See, he is not a person who has been given the leadership in the group discussion, right? He
Yes,
himself
ma'am. Like he take himself as a lead by telling the point and all and speaking actively,
speaking actively,
like
right?
related to the content only, ma'am. Yeah.
Related to the content only. Okay. So yes, leader is a person who himself has decided to be the leader, to lead the conversation, to lead the discussion. So now it's his duty to make member speak. He has to encourage them that yes, come up and speak and take active participation in the group discussion. That is when he is going to show his leadership quality, and yes, that is when he's going to get extra marks. Now, why we say interface is again one of the quality of group discussion? Interface means interaction. Like this is the basic feature of group discussion, that there need to be interaction among the various members who are sitting around the table. All the group of people, all the people who are sitting on the table, who are sitting around the table, they need to interact with each other. They need to share their thoughts. They need to share their views with each other, right? That is why we say it to be a group discussion. How discussion will happen? When they will interact. If one person keeps on saying, it's not a discussion which is going on. It's the speech, or it's the speaker who is continuously speaking. So for group discussion, it is important that there is some interaction which is going amongst the member. They see, they hear, they communicate with each other orally by paying attention to each other. Now, it's not just the words they're speaking that means they are communicating with each other. Even if they are listening, even if they are having eye contact, if their body language is positive, that means they are still being a part of that discussion. Now, second, as we have discussed, leader and member, a group discussion can be effective only when there is a group of people and one amongst them stands and take the lead. Yeah, as soon as I'm going to put the topic, as soon as I'm going to put the topic on the table, no one is going to take the initiative. Everyone will think, let someone start, let someone else start. That is what usually we think. If we will also get a chance to sit around the table, for once, it will take that courage to start. We'll think, are we thinking right? Will we give a good start? What if the views which we are carrying is not going to match with the views of other people? So those are the things which stops us from leading the conversation. But there is one person, there's definitely going to be one person who is going to take the lead, who is going to initiate the discussion. The leader is a person who is going to summarize the fact and the information. He is a person who is going to give right direction to the group discussion. If he thinks that the discussion is going off the topic, he is a person who is going to bring back all the candidates back on the actual topic which was supposed to be discussed. Because whenever a group discussion topic is given, they aim at getting some results from that. The discussion is not complete until and unless there is some result which we can gather from that information, from the discussion which was going on, or we don't come to a conclusion. So the member of the group becomes actively related to each other. They relate their thoughts, they relate their views with each other and start playing their respective roles. How they'll play their respective role? If five people are against that discussion, they'll be speaking against that. They all are related, they all are supporting their thoughts. Another set of seven people are in favor of that. Like for example, as I brought the topic that should we go back to the office 5 days a week, 9 to 5 every day. Yes, there might be five people who are opposing this. 7 people who are supporting this. So those 7 are going to relate each and everything. They'll be relating their thoughts with each other. They'll be relating their views with each other. So they are all are related with each other. Next set of people who are opposing them, next set of 5 people will be relating their thoughts. So that is how there is a relation between their views which they are going to present. Next comes participation. Do we require active participation from the member? Yes. As I told you, one person cannot discuss. If there are 20 people sitting around the table and only 4 people are speaking, only 4 people are presenting their views, the discussion is not going to be healthy one. So the effectiveness, the efficiency of the group discussion depends to the large extent that how much participation we are getting from the candidates, from the person who are supposed to take part in the discussion. Active participation, activeness from all the members, active views of members is required when it comes to group discussion. Interpersonal attraction. As long as that interaction continues, like the likes, dislikes, behavior, their culture, their beliefs, their temperament of the members, as long as all these things are continuing, they are knowing each other. You know, when they will show their behavior, when they will show their likes, their dislikes. So somewhere we are getting to know each other's likes, dislikes. So in that situation, empathy starts developing and they start building a bond. Slowly, slowly that bond is building. You know, group discussion is not just the part of selection process. It is also a part of team building process too. In team building, when these type of discussion happen, we get to know each other. We know the other person's likes, dislikes, their behavior comes out, and that is how we start building a bond between each and every individual who will be working together in the future projects. Now, the 5th point says pressure to confirm. In the group discussion, there is always an element of pressure to confirm the norms. Norms as in what rules and regulation are being set by the panel, like how they are going to work about that. What are the basic rules which are being already informed to all the candidates in advance before they enter into group discussion. So the predefined and established standards, rules are always enforced and they are supposed to be followed. For example, when you are entering into group discussion, things have been made very clear that there is going to be no political discussion over here. There's going to be no specific personality discussion which we are going to bring into our contact, bring into our discussion. So there are some specific standard rules. Why they set these rules is, if these rules are there, then they are trying to avoid the conflicts which usually happen on basis of the political views, on basis of their caste, on basis of their ethics. So keep the temperature of the room cool, not to heat the temperature. They just have those standard rules which everyone should follow when they are into that discussion room. Last point says conflict. As we all know, when there are a group of people, conflict will happen, right? So here 20 people sitting together, above all discussing on one point, one common topic. Conflict is the internal part that is going to happen. So it is a difference. What is conflict? It is a difference or disagreement among the members of the group discussion, the members of the group which do not agree with other person's view. They simply say that what we are saying is right, other person is saying what I'm saying is right. So when both of them are not ready to accept other person's view, the conflict starts. So conflict is inevitable and usually develops when alternative solutions are present. Both of them are saying that no, I'm right. So alternative solution can be, we can just try to find something which is having part of both the candidates. Like for example, we have to go with one is saying we should go to office, one is saying we should not go to office. So mutually what they can decide, they can say, okay, as I don't want to go to office, but for collaboration, for meeting, for bonding, going office is important. So we can go for a mixture where part of the week we are going to office and rest part we are not going to office. So there is an alternate. So conflicts are usually settled by using the alternate way, which makes both of them into win-win situation. Now, there's one more reason. If this is arising due to some political behavior of members, it will have no solution to the problem and it will lead to lot of consequences, because the aim of the person is not to find the solution. The aim of the person is to just heat the conversation, just to make that conflict burst burst out louder. So if your aim is that, if that is the political aim of other people, then you cannot settle down the conflict. So these are the characteristics of group discussion. Now after characteristic comes the purpose of group discussion. What is the purpose? Why group discussion should happen? So purpose says to reach a solution on an issue of concern. Now in companies, day to day, lot of things are happening. Not in today's time. Every time there used to be some confusion, some problems, some sudden change in the market, strategies. Lot of things keeps on happening. So for reaching to a solution, getting the best solution for the problem, for the concern, we go for group discussion. Because in group discussion, each and every person is open to share their thoughts, to share their views. And when we are open to share our thoughts, when we are open to share our views, we will be freely speaking about that. And no one knows whose solution can work best, can give growth to the organization, can solve the problem. So group discussion is used to reach for a solution to the concern which is already raised or which may think can arise in the near future. Second purpose is to generate new ideas or new approaches to solving problem. People have been using old traditional way of solving the problem, right? They don't want to change. But the new generation, new people, new blood, they have new look toward, they have new and a broader look towards the problem. So how we can match the new generation, new blood with the old approach, old way of solving the problem? For that, it's good to make both of them work together. It is always advisable if a person from 60s or 50s work with a new blood. When both of them work together, they bring the best solution. Can you tell me why? See, their viewpoints are entirely different. Both of them have a generation gap in the way they'll be thinking, in the way they have gained the knowledge, in the environment they have worked. Both the things are entirely different. But how, if both of them work together, they can generate a new idea, new approach to solve the problem? How? How they can? The old age person is having experience. The new blood knows the current market trend. When both the things are going to combine, they'll know. The old age person knows theoretically what are the things we can apply to increase our sale. The techniques, the theoretical knowledge is best with that person because he is already having experience, not just the theoretical knowledge. He is carrying the years of experience. New generation is a one who is among the person who is from the targeted audience, so he knows how to gather them, how to sell things to them. So when both the things, the experience and the new idea, both the things will combine, a new idea, a new approach to solve the problem will come. Third point, another purpose for group discussion is for selecting candidate after the written test for employment or for admission to educational institute. Another purpose is when it comes to employment or educational institute, they go with the group discussion. For employment, they just check on the skills, few skills like their leadership skills, their communication skills, their attitude, their problem solving skills, their creativity, all these things, all these skills they check to provide them the employment. And for educational institute, they also check all these soft skills, whether that the candidate is having those things or not, or up to which level. So it is again one of the process in the final selection of the candidate for the employment or for the educational institute. Next point, next purpose is to provide us with an avenue to train ourselves in various interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills, your own skills. When you want to train yourself in your own skills, group discussion plays a very important role. It is going to show you where exactly you stand. You keep on saying, I have all the information related to this. I don't hesitate. I can speak anywhere. But actually, when you are brought into the group discussion, you realizes that still these are the areas in which I need to focus. These are the areas in which I need to work more. So to train yourself in various interpersonal skills, this group discussion plays a very important role. Next comes the advantages of group discussion. Group discussion have any advantages? What do you think? What type of advantages this group discussion will have? Here, what we are doing, people are fighting, they are raising their voice, no matter how many times they have been taught that when they're in the group discussion, they need to have good body language, they need to sit properly, they should talk properly, they should communicate properly. But when they are into that room and when that disagreement, argument start, everything will just flush out of their mind, that what all things they were supposed to keep in mind. As soon as their views doesn't match with other person, they'll simply start ignoring the views. The listening skills will just fade away. They'll forget that they have to be part of the conversation every time. It was being taught that when you are into the group discussion, you are not going to shout, you are not going to raise your voice. But when we enter into argument, we even forget that thing. So there are some advantages why group discussion plays a very important role. The first point says it provides a deeper understanding of the subject. Now, one mind can think in one direction, but when group of people are talking about the same thing, they will have different views. So it is going to give us a deep understanding, a detailed understanding about the topic on which we are discussing. Some of the companies are coming up with the hybrid model. Some of the companies are saying that if people want, they can work half a year from a half a year remotely, and for half year they can come to office. How they came to this conclusion? Just by they're the managers, they were sitting and all of a sudden they decided to do this thing. No, they had discussion with their within the organization. They had discussion with the external sources, because see, when the people will be asked to work remotely, there will be two governments involved. The person will be earning somewhere, will be spending somewhere else. So there are a lot of things which the organization has to see. One single person cannot see all the areas. And when group of person who have understanding about the same subject, who are expert in this field, when they will come together, when they will start discussing, when the discussion will happen between them, they will get the detailed in-depth knowledge about the pros of this and cons of this. Like what are the advantages of going with the remote working and what will be the disadvantages. They'll have more detail and in-depth knowledge. Second point says it improves the ability to think critically. Yes, critically will be thinking at each and every small point. Anyone will just pick this small point we said and they'll be discussing about that. So it is going to improve the ability to think critically. Next point says it provides different approaches to solving a problem. How different approaches? 10 different minds are thinking for the solution. So if one mind thinks about only one solution, we will have 10 different ways of solving the problem. Right? So we will have lot of options. From so many options, we can select one best possible alternative. And within very short time, all the possible solution will be there on our table, because we have just asked 10 different minds to come up with one best solution as per them. So on the table, first thing is we are having the best possible solution. Second is all the solutions are being studied in depth. Now we don't have to spend time in detail analysis. What we have to do, we just have to compare all the solution with each other and we have to finalize one best solution from all other solutions. It makes our work easy, consumes our time, and it gives the best way of solving the problem. So we'll have different approaches. Now, when we have different approaches, different ways of solving the problem, even you can keep them with you. You can use them for different problems. Right? For one set of people, you can have this approach which is going to work on them. For other set of people, you can have this approach which is going to work on them. Lot of options. It helps the group in taking a decision. Now, when the managers are confused regarding taking any kind of decision, when an organization is confused regarding any type of decision, so this discussion helps them to come to the decision by going with the majority, by going with the positive and negative aspects, with the telling them, or along with that, one more thing which will happen. We take the example of college. We want college fest to happen, but the management is still in the dilemma that is it the right time to have that college fest. So management is unable to take the decision. The problem is if the management says no, the students will say, why management alone took the decision? The fest should be there. If it says yes, then also some people will question it's not the good time. So what they are going to do? It's always better to include the students and then go with the decision, like include the leaders, the student leaders, and then they can come up with the final decision. So group discussion helps in taking good and wise decisions also. Next point says it gives an opportunity to hear the opinion of other person. Yes, in group discussion, we have discussed that the person need to be good listeners also. So it is giving us the option to hear what other people think, what are their viewpoints, and listening to their viewpoint, we might get some better idea to solve the problem or to take a decision. 6 point says it enables a participant to put across his or her viewpoint. So it is giving equal opportunity to all the people that you all can present your views freely. No one is there to stop you. No one is going to tell you that you cannot be the part of the discussion. So all of them can present their views without any hesitation. It enhances confidence in speaking. All the known people are sitting with you, right? If it gives you opportunity to speak, you'll be confident. Even if unknown people are sitting with you, the person who usually don't speak can come up and speak thinking no one knows them. Even if I am going to speak something wrong, no one is going to point out on me, right? It is group discussion. Anyone can present their views. So there is nothing like right and wrong. So it is going to enhance the confidence in speaking. Because here you don't have to be right every time. It's just you need to have some valid figures, valid facts. That's it. 8 point says it can change your opinion and show you things from a different perspective. Till now, I was only thinking that no, going to office is the best option. First, people should go to office. Sitting at home, how they are going to grow. A lot of things were running. So my perspective was working from home is not a good option, that should not be given. But now, when I heard the opinion of other people, when I just listened to what other people are thinking, what benefits they have shown me, now I have changed my perspective. Now I believe that working from home is also a good model, but it should be uh, part-time working from home and partially working from office. Both the things, it should be a hybrid model which should come, and this is going to give the bond. It will build bond also. It will bring team together also to collaborate, as well as it will not reduce the productivity. People will be working from the comfort of their home also. So both the things are going to be there. So in this way, it may change your perspective towards the thing which, towards the thinking, towards the thought with which you initially started. Now comes the components. There are such no disadvantages of group discussion except one, that if no one is there to take the lead, if no one is there to stop the discussion, if it's going in wrong way, or if it's getting heated up, then it may end up with having nothing in hands. No discussion, no results can come out of the group discussion. That is the only disadvantage of this. Except that there are only the plus point of group discussion. But yes, if group discussion is adopted every time for taking decisions in the organization, then yes, of course, it is a very lengthy and time consuming as well as expensive process. Bringing people together every time, discussing with them every time, and then taking a decision will take lot of time, lot of energy, lot of efforts, and will incur extra cost also. So in that perspective, yes, it is a costly, it is a time consuming affair. Except that all good things are there. It will increase, it will show your leadership skill, it will show your communication skill, it will show your personality, it will show that yes, what knowledge, how you present yourself, all these things will be shown. Now, what are the components of group discussion? First component, say purpose. There should be some purpose why we are holding group discussion. So the first component is the purpose of holding group discussion. We should know why this group discussion is happening. If I'm going for the selection process, the purpose is clear that this group discussion, the purpose for this group discussion is for selection or rejection of the student. If I'm going for the interview, so the purpose of this group discussion is selection or rejection in the interview. If we are going for some decision, like if we have to make some decision, so the purpose of this group discussion is we have to find a solution to the problem which has been given to us. So there need to be some purpose for which we are discussing. Group discussion aim at to arrive at a satisfactory conclusion. It's not going to end until and unless you don't have any conclusion. You don't have any satisfactory results in your hand. You need to have something when you are winding up the discussion. You need to come up with some answers, some solution which you have discussed, which you have finally came across that yes, these are the possible solutions which we can give, which we can implement to solve the problem. So there need to be satisfactory conclusion. A group discussion usually helps to decide the next course of action. If it is for problem solving, You have to find out the solution. So it is going to decide the next course of action. The next course of action is going through that solution, analyzing all the facts, whether it is going to work or not, and if yes, putting that solution into action. Random talk without arriving at a decision is not a discussion. Sitting together, we always say we had a group discussion in the cafe. What was the discussion all about? It started with having discussion about the working hours, then it ended up with having some cultural night in the organization. Do you think it's a group discussion? It's just a random talk which is happening between you, that you started with something else, something like multiple topics entered into the discussion, and when you just got away from that position, no conclusion was there, no result was there, all the topics are still on the table only. That is not the group discussion. Until and unless you don't have any decision which you all together have made, it is not a group discussion. Group discussion doesn't mean group of people sitting together doing chit chat, doing some discussion, and it's a group discussion. No, it means having some purpose, getting some conclusion or decision when the discussion ends. That is group discussion. The last point in purpose is it is important to clarify the purpose for which the discussion is being held. Same as the first point. You need to clarify, you need to tell each and every candidate who is the part of discussion, that what is the purpose, why this discussion is on the table, what solution we are looking for, how we are going to go about with that discussion. So the purpose should be made very much clear in the minds of the people when they are being brought together. Without purpose, no decision, no solution you will get. Random discussion won't give you a right and a valid solution, and the entire time, the entire setup of group discussion will be a waste. So always make sure the first very important component is purpose. There are 3 P's. We'll be just talking about 3 P's as the component of group discussion. First, we have already discussed, that is purpose. Next 2 we'll be discussing in the next session, that is planning and P for participation. So there should be P for purpose, there should be P for planning, there should be P for purpose. So we'll be discussing about that in the next session. Along with that, we will also discuss how group discussion is important at 3 different levels, like in selection process, why it is important, in business, how it is important, and in education line, how it is important. We'll be discussing about all these things in the next session. We are done with the session. Any doubts? No? If no, then yes, we are good to wind up the session. We'll see you exactly at 4:50 with the last session of the day, and the last session of the day is entrepreneurship. We'll start exactly at 4:50. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.